How Cody Gakpo could fit in at Manchester United. That is what we are going to be looking at today. We're going to go through Cody Gakpo's profile as a footballer. We're going to dive into the stats, and then we're going to do some analysis of how he could play for Manchester United. Cody Gakpo is one of the most interesting footballers that I've analysed over the last few years. He profiles like a winger, but he plays almost like a centre forward. Today we're going to take a look at what his best position is, whether it's through the middle as a striker, whether it's wide left, cutting in onto his stronger right foot, or alternatively, is it any other position? Wide right, inner front two. We're going to dive into all that type of information today. So just give you a bit of a background on Cody Gakpo, the 23-year-old, currently plays for PSV Eindhoven in the Eredivisie. But of course, at the moment, he's playing for the Netherlands at the World Cup. Currently scored 3 in 3 games going into the last 16. Cody Gakpo is an interesting player when you look at his stats in terms of searches for players. Manchester United, of course, want a player that can create and that can, of course, score goals. They want an attacker that can be versatile, that could fit into a number of different positions and give Erik Ten Hag tools to unlock stubborn defences. Searching the players in the top 8, yes, top 8 European leagues for expected goals over 0.3 and expected assists over 0.3. Only 19 players come up. Creative forwards like Lionel Messi. You've got Neymar in there, Kvaratskhelia, Mohamed Salah, Gabriel Jesus, Kylian Mbappe, and of course Cody Gakpo, who leads the way for expected assists per 90 in this list of players. And that is very, very impressive. But also, if we look at the assists so far this season, Gakpo is on 18 assists, which is more than any player in European football right now, showcasing his quality. So far, he's taken 75 shots and played 54 key passes at the moment. Another thing that I quite like about Gakpo, 193 centimetres tall. Got a bit of about him and could be converted into a centre forward. And I think that's the interesting side of where do we start. When you look at PSV Eindhoven and his performances this season, there's been a number of games where he's absolutely shone for them. 3 assists and a goal against Feyenoord, playing in a left wing position, but arguably playing as the forward, as Xavi Simons is playing as the central striker. Again, the fluidity of this PSV team under Ruud van Nistelrooy is great. That narrow position is basically where Cody Gakpo likes to play. It's a striker that's drifting into a left channel. Think Thierry Henry. Those types of positions Cody Gakpo really likes to pick up, but also he is comfortable at receiving wide on the last line to create for his teammates or score goals. He's very much a last line player, and for me, that's where Erik Ten Hag might want to convert him into a striker. I think that is the big thing for Cody Gakpo. When I looked at him from a left wing position, from a winger position, from an inverted winger, a guy that's going to create things, make things happen, he's kind of not really that. He's almost this last line player that makes the difference in the final third, a la a striker. Obviously, there's a number of games this season where he's been standout. The Feyenoord game we looked at there, hat-trick of assists and a goal against Ajax in the Super Cup, 2 assists and, of course, a goal. Both of his assists exactly the same. Inverted cross from the left-hand side onto his right foot to the back post. And if you break down those assists we saw previously, the 18 assists, 6 of them have been the same methodology. Left-hand side, picking up the ball on the last line, cutting in on his right foot and curling the ball either to the near post, centre of the goal or far post. I like his variation with Gakpo when he does that. Again, 2 assists against Ajax in the Super Cup over in Holland. Another game that kind of jumped out against Excelsior. PSV Eindhoven won 6-1. And again, Gakpo starting in that wide position. But look at that heat map. In the final third, very, very narrow. Hence, potentially could be, moving his position. In that game, a goal and 2 assists. Had a whopping 10 shots on goal. Created 4 chances. Is really making the impact there. When we look from an average position perspective for PSV, number 11. Again, it's that narrow position. He's inside the width of the penalty area. He's not holding the width. He's more naturally coming into those central striking positions. And that's a big thing. Spends a lot of time in those striking positions. Positions himself on the last line. Finishes well off both feet. Finishes with power at times and goes low, which I really like. There's a lot there about his game where I feel that you know, there's some real quality in certain elements. And I think when you look at his kind of, his goal map from this season, from a pitch perspective, looking at where he's finishing off his moves, what I quite like is this kind of band of, 7 goals on the left-hand side of the box. This kind of like classic Thierry Henry finishing positions. But I also like that these two that are the closest to the goal are both with Gakpo going onto his left foot and finishing with that left foot. That makes players so hard to play against. I think one of the biggest criticisms I've got with someone like a Jack Grealish is every single time he gets into those positions, cut into the strong right foot, curl the ball home. Gakpo has got more to his game than that. When if we take a look at the positions as well, you know, from a perspective of where he's putting the ball in the goal, is it good areas as well? I think when we look at the spots of the goal where Gakpo's finishing, I think it's pretty decent. Favours striking the ball to the right-hand side of the goal. Of course, you'll naturally get that with a right footer cutting onto the left side. I love the finishes in the bottom part of the goal, the bottom right corner, and again bottom left corner as well. We can see a number of saves there. This shows kind of that pinpoint accuracy with his finishing that I've really started to like. Again, he's a player that it's taken me a while to do the analysis on because it's kind of different. I think the World Cup and him playing as a striker for Louis van Gaal's Netherlands side kind of made me think a little bit more. Maybe think a little bit more about Gakpo and is he this player that I perceive him to be? And he's not. He is a forward. The way that he moves in these positions, very much a forward. You know, the goals that he scored so far in the World Cup, he's been absolutely fantastic at putting the ball in the back of net. But arguably at times, he's kind of the highest player for the Netherlands. And I think the duality, as we just saw with that heat map, it's not inside left all the time as the heat map we just saw there. It's inside right. And let's take a look at some of the the goals that he scored in the World Cup as a bit of an example of kind of his movement. Right, let's take a look at the goals that he scored as a centre forward for the Dutch national team. Again, Louis van Gaal sets his team up in a 3-4-1-2. Gakpo played the first game as an attacking mid, was then moved with substitutions to a centre forward position, of course scored his goal from that position to open up the game. So let's take a look at Gakpo. Gakpo is at the top of the screen right now. You'll see his movement is a very, very centre forward-esque bent run, you know, moving around, waiting for the right moment and spinning in behind. So at the moment, the Netherlands have got the ball in the advanced area with Steven Bergwijn. It drops back to Frankie de Jong. One of the things that I like about Gakpo is he seems to have a really good relationship with passers. It seems like his movement is it's almost like rehearsed. This is a great example from a heading position with Frankie de Jong. As you can see, as soon as Frankie de Jong's taken his first touch, Gakpo he's bent his run and now he's going to break through the defence, and it's really, really good centre forward play. Moving on to, as Gakpo breaks through the opposition's backline, that's the same moment that Frankie de Jong releases the ball. That understanding shows real intelligence from Cody Gakpo, and the finish with his head, not only is it brave, but it's a brilliant header, reminiscent of Javier Hernandez's back flick all those years ago. But just a great goal. I love that relationship between assister and goal scorer in terms of the timing of the run. You know, going out, looping in, getting behind the defence and heading the ball home. Great goal to start things off. You know, that advantage with his height, as we mentioned previously, he could be better. He could score more goals with his head. Right, let's move forward to his second goal. This one's a little bit more about movement in behind the back line to stretch the play. Unselfish running, something that Manchester United need to do a lot more of. So at the moment, Nathan Ake is in possession of the football in a left centre-back position. As you can see, Gakpo is stretching the defence. He's making the run into the right channel. As the play's progressed, Ake finds Memphis Depay in between the lines in space. This space is created by the movement of not only Davy Classy pulling wide, but the depth of the attack is created by Cody Gakpo stretching the play. Ball goes into the feet of Memphis Depay, takes a bit of a bad touch. Calcedo nips in. But what I love about that, as soon as the possession is switched to the Ecuadorian side, Gakpo is instantly on that, instantly closing the ball down. Doesn't quite get there to close the ball down, but the ball breaks to Davy Classy. The demanding of the ball. Again, it just smells of a centre forward. He's demanding for the ball to his feet right now. Play me the ball. Let me have a go on goal. Of course, he moves over. Takes the ball off Davy Classy. Counter-directional dribble. So, of course, Classy's coming on the inside to pull the defence. Counter-directional dribble. You're pulling the defence one way. You're going the other way, which opens up a massive amount of space for Gakpo to finish with his weaker foot, his weaker left foot, right into the top corner. What a goal. But I think that combination play between his movement, his awareness when his team's lost the ball to press, then that counter-directional dribble, what a finish. Sensational goal. Finally, his goal against Qatar, again, a little bit about movement, a bit about link-up play, off the line. It showcases him. As you can see now, Daley Blind has got the ball and could look for that pass over to the top to Gakpo. Again, that relationship between passer and Gakpo seems to be really on point. Spins in behind, again opens up a little of space. And as soon as Memphis Depay is received, you know what Depay is going to do? He's going to turn, he's going to get his head towards goal. Gakpo drifts over, understanding that it's not going to be stretching the opposition's backline that's going to be helpful, coming to the ball, receiving to feet. Of course, he does that. Depay carries through, little bit of a 1-2 between Gakpo and David Classy, but the little flick is perfect. Opens up the play, releases Classy in space, the return pass to Gakpo. Again, look at the counter-directional side here, that the centre-half that's deep for Qatar is basically going to try and pick up Memphis Depay. That's where his eyes are looking for. So his natural momentum is going to be to the left-hand side of Holland's attack. Again, Gakpo, instant bursts of pace to go on the inside, drives through, and a fantastic, clean finish with his right foot. I think the centre-forward play of Cody Gakpo is massively shone at this World Cup. I think this is a position for him going forward. I think if United were to buy Gakpo, it's going to be playing as a number 9. I think he's got that ability, that awareness to, attack the inside left channel. I think that's a big area where, he plays in already. But again, I've seen him make centre-forward runs when he's played as a 9 for PSV to the right-hand side. He got a great assist this season against NEC, where he span in behind, then brought the ball back, and then one of his teammates attacked the space, and he looked for that pass inside. I've seen him do that. I think the potential is big here. It's taken me a while to kind of get Cody Gakpo, but I think I'm at a point now where I've watched enough goals, assists, game footage of Cody Gakpo to really understand him as a forward. I think he will naturally drift to the left-hand side, so United do need to rebalance, but this is a constant thing I've spoken about many a time. United are far too geared to that left-hand side as it is now, with Eriksen playing as a left-sided midfielder. Bruno likes to drift left. We need someone to play this inside right position, but that comes from tactical discipline from other players. I think that could come from Bruno spending more time drifting right with Eriksen if he's going to move to left-hand side, but also Gakpo balancing that out, using that kind of right-hand side space that he's done quite a lot for the Netherlands, and I've seen him do it for PSV at times. So I think it will be a centre-forward position for Cody Gakpo, 4-2-3-1, but I think there could be interchange between the positions and players. And what I quite like about that long term, I'd like to see Man United go really gung-ho in some games and play Bruno deep. I really want to see Bruno Fernandes playing deep and balancing that out with maybe a Martial off Gakpo or a Gakpo off Martial, kind of going for a proper second striker in there. I'd like to see that as a United team. That's so offensive. It's super offensive for Manchester United. Of chasing games, kind of we've seen Erik ten Hag go with that back three, an attacking sense. Getting another midfielder on the pitch, which could potentially be Christian Eriksen. We could see the super offensive 3-diamond-3 formation with Gakpo through the middle. I just feel like his skill set right now it's starting to really develop. He is in the hottest streak of his career right now, and it's exciting to watch him play football. His assists from set pieces as well. Out of the 18 assists that he's got this season, he's had 4 corners from the left-hand side that are resulted in assists, and he's had 2 from the right-hand side. Again, United need to improve from set pieces. That is another reason why. But I think that this is kind of the time to bring him. His finishing, as we mentioned, has been really, really good. But also, when you're looking at a centre-forward for Erik ten Hag, we've seen what happened with Dusan Tadic when he moved to Ajax to play under Erik ten Hag. How well he evolved in terms of being that kind of false 9 player. A good player at Southampton, but a brilliant player under Erik ten Hag. That 2018-19 season where Tadic was basically unplayable in the Champions League, 6 goals and 4 assists in 12 games. And again, you can see him kind of drifting to that left-hand side. Similar to what Cody Gakpo could do as a number 9 for Manchester United, moving into the channels, getting involved in the wide areas, and really looking to combine with his teammates. Again, I think he's got big talent, and I think Erik ten Hag is the perfect guy to help him realise that talent. And in United's kind of 4-2-3-1, will be playing as that central striker, but as well could play wide left. I think United need bodies. United need improvement in their starting 11. They need improvement in their team. They need people to come into push people forward. We've seen how well Luke Shaw's done with Malacia coming into the Man United squad. So getting someone like Cody Gakpo into the team could see an even higher level from an Anthony Martial or even a higher level from Marcus Rashford, given the extra competition within the side. I just think it's a perfect signing. But anyway, guys, get into the comments. What do you think? Cody Gakpo to Manchester United. 50 million euros is the price. 43 million pounds. If he keeps banging goals in the World Cup, though, that price is only going to go up. Subscribe if you're new. Like the goddamn video. Check out SofaScore for all the analysis, and we'll be back soon.